have done, and then obviously Luminosity. I think they're still coming to grips with what it's like to play at this level for some of these players. So they're naturally just progressing as best they can, but they're not in a bad position, you know, at the moment. Luminosity, certainly if they could pull even a point here today, I think that would be very strong from them. It gets them to 6 points at least, and then they can really push on from there and try and make it into that top 6. But I'm not too convinced in the map choice though, Rob. Bank, this is an M80 map. This is one that they are more than happy to play against anyone. Doesn't care who it is. They believe that they are one of the best bank teams in the world, and I have to agree with them. I have to.
Yeah, I think definitely their performance yesterday against Beast Coast, 7-2 win. Now, the Montaigne does get banned out here from Luminosity, and you can see it immediately in y'all chat, asking, is that fear or is that respect? I'm going to go respect, just because I don't think Luminosity are scared too many people. They are a very swing first and ask questions later kind of team. But I think, unfortunately, like you said, for Luminosity, still adjusting to the North American League, adjusting to play at this level, as really it's been two standouts, Silent and Snake so far for Luminosity, and the rest have yet to kind of follow suit. So to be able to topple a team like M80, they're going to need a full team performance if they're going to be successful, like you say, on one of M80's best maps on Bank.
Luminosity have got the defense first, which should, I think, give them a good start. I always look at kind of these newer teams' defenses where you really need to make up a lot of your round total. Attacks will come later on as you start to develop, you know, that team synergy and chemistry of your teammates. So I think this will do them well. M80, I would say so far at this stage, Rob, they've probably set the standards high of where they want to be. I would say that Oxygen game is still probably ringing in their ears, because that's one that's they're not going to be happy with. You know, I think M8 is a team they probably wanted to go into this season thinking we're not going to lose the game.
Yeah, you and I worked that M80 Oxygen game on Cafe, and it was a nail biter. It went back and forth. I think you could say pretty handedly that both teams were neither at their best during that game. It's a little more of a slugfest, just going back and forth and who could survive. And I think you're right. I think M80, that one's going to ring a little in their ears, give them a little bit of tinnitus. But ultimately, like I said, they come away with 6 points today, or just 3 points in this match. They'll be level on wildcard, and they'll have the opportunity to play them to end the evening to assert their supremacy in the NAL here in Stage 2.
So obviously with the bans coming in, Rob, there's a few operators that are very strong for the attackers. We have Ying available, also Ossa available, which is a very strong one for this top floor. M80 have not decided to choose the Ossa this time around, but they do have that Ying, which is going to give them that real pushing power. Generally, M80, the way they like to attack that top floor is using the Monty up in through lobby, up through spiral. It gives them a lot of control over that area of the map, and then it also gives them that pushing power, able to move in towards the elevator, in towards CEO, wherever they need to go. But with that being banned, they're going to have to go for a secondary version. It's usually Kino on the Monty, but he's chosen Cali this time round, Rob.
Yeah, we saw this yesterday from Kino as well. The only thing he actually got to do with Cali on their CEO attack yesterday against Beast Coast was just do some soft destruction. I was really hoping he was going to actually pop up there and hit us with a nice little clip on the Cali for the first time in a while in T1 play.
He's a shotgun one trick, Rob. He's not doing that with Sniper.
Hey man, the way the update is right now, the shotties might as well be snipers. With perfect purview here into Janitor, but it will be Asian, the first one to drop at the hands of Gomez. Spoit traded out by Twist from sitting inside of Janitor behind the Kiba barriers. No more Kiba barriers will be added to his supply though, as Asian is the first to demise. Now for Luminosity, still trying to hold on, but it's a very window-focused attack here for M80. No one really able to repel the repels coming out from 80 on Luminosity's side right now. Twist taking damage, trying to keep his safe haven as safe as long as possible, but there is one ace hole already at the bottom of the reinforcement for his Janitor closet. He's just in a rock and a hard place now and has to bail out all the way to meeting, and now they've surrendered complete CEO control.
The main thing is that they still have the Ying. That is the main way for M80 to win this round. Being able to rotate the Ying now towards stock will get them in nice and early. Will get them into a good position where they can start to cut off rotation, start to attack the long. Look at this though. Look at this position from Silent. Actually prones underneath the table, so he doesn't get flashed. However, his smoke has landed right on top of him. They have no idea he's in there, Rob. This could end horrifically for M80.
And it will, as he pushes straight up to the window. Snake will get another Diaz, though. Will drop Snake. So still a 2v3 for Diaz and Kino to work out of. Kino's just going to have to pull up the SMG9 and try and go in for the rappel with the diffuser in hand. Makes it in safely. No pressure from Banana. Looking for the pings coming out. There is a Yokai drone still floating around somewhere. Twisting and turning, looking for the engagement as 5 seconds tick down on the clock, but he's in the middle of switching weapons as he gets pushed. And Twist perseveres inside the janitor closet, and Luminosity will take round number 1.
Gotta praise Silent. I love that. Knows that a Ying is coming right for you, does the correct thing, Rob. Just hides, tries to get him away from that position, sit in an off angle, a position that you know that he's never going to check. Albeit, Iconic never actually jumped in off the Candela, instead went to Skylight to throw another one. But when it came back, Silent pops up, gets the perfect timing on him, and as soon as you lose that Ying, you don't have anything from M80. All you're left with is swinging into windows, which we know that's never gonna work for you. I mean, it just showcases that M80 really do rely on having that Monty coming through lobby, because the whole idea of having that Monty is it just creates even more pressure. It's almost, you know, the way I look at Monty sometimes is he's not a big issue, you know, as a defender. He's a guy that stands there looking at you, you know, menacingly, of course, but it's the information that M80 like to play off. Being able to pinpoint, there's one here, there's one there. We know there's nobody there. Let's pressure that point. They're a team that will like to pick apart their opponents, look for the weak spot, and just go for it.
5 seconds left.
And the like we said in the all chat, you know, M80 asking the question of Luminosity, was that ban out of fear or respect? I think it was respect, because you can see how well they used the Montaigne yesterday against Beast Coast, and not looking for a repeat of that performance for Luminosity. So they take that off the board, as well as the Valkyrie. So a lot of intel gathering on both sides. The Monty, like you said, go to operator, be able to get in for free, have some protection, and assess where anyone would be roaming. Now, Iconic has done the same with Twitch drone here in tandem with Gomez outside of the printer window. But again, it's Kino starting things off onto Silence. There goes the Warden, the ability to see through any smokes that Iconic does have 2 of, and the Ying Candelas that Kino's bringing. Asian going to have to redo his Kiba barrier inside of open area, as that's a big operator to take off the board early for M80.
It is. So Warden means that Kino has a very easy time of using those Candelas. Also the smokes as well from Iconic will go unhindered. But you can see from M80 again, they've got the first pick. Yes, that's all well and good, but they want to make sure they have full control before they start doing anything remote of an actual attack onto the site. They know there's still going to be roamers that they have to try and hunt for. Most of them will be situated in towards this mid floor. This is something that we've seen really start about a year ago, Rob. We started seeing teams go for these extensions in towards open area. And with operators like Azami available for defenders, it just makes this part of the map so much more difficult to take control of from the attack. But having that opening pick, it gives them an extra man that they can use to maybe watch a flank, send him and maybe an area that the defenders aren't expecting. Just having that open man, you know, it's like chess. Having an extra pawn, Rob, we know goes a long way.
Absolutely. You can see all 3 of them there. Only 4 alive for Luminosity. At 75% of the remaining man force on their squad was stacked right inside of the open area double door. The janitor closet hatch had been popped, and same thing here. Kino's going to utilize 1 Candela to ensure the safe drop into open area, establish that contact and map control. But ultimately, no one's here. Nobody's home. 60 seconds on the clock took away for M80. Start turning their sights back down towards the bomb site. They still do have Snake, so they will have some info on when a plant is going down with the Solus. But again, losing that Warden, the inability to see through the Candelas and the smokes that will inevitably be dropped into the bomb site will be huge.
And don't forget about the free smoke canisters. They're still in the back pocket of Twist. That's going to be something that we have to keep an eye on. Whenever M80 will try and be very plant orientated, we're seeing Spoit with the diffuser will start to rotate in towards server, and here comes the smoke grenades. What they need to do right now, M80, is start dropping down that red hatch, make sure the smoke cannot utilize those gas canisters, attack him from other areas. Just don't let him sit back and do this.
Here comes the flood, 20 on the clock, ticking down, everyone holding just for a moment. As here comes the dump from the Candelas into the red hall, trying to obscure the vision of the smoke, but Snake will collect 1 to level man count. Plant being attempted on the bomb chassis, Iconic and Gomez, and Iconic again. They all start hitting the floor, and all of a sudden it's just Twist alone. The plant is completed, but not before Twist can grab Gomez. An immediate trade from Kino, as he's partially blinded after completing the plant, and M80 will level things up.
Yeah, phenomenal take from M80. They know as long as they can get into open air by a minute, the hatches are going to be open for them anyway, because you see the offsite hold come in from Luminosity. That's where it plays against you, almost. And they have the Ying available. They have the Candelas. Those Candelas can really target 3 main positions. If you actually look at that bottom floor, it'll flash anyone in Vault, it'll flash anyone in Red Corridor, and it'll flash anyone inside a CCTV room. You know, that's how strong those Candelas are. And it all is just a 3-2-1. You have that extra man, you drop, you take the trades, and eventually you will win that. So yeah, phenomenal attack from M80. It's exactly what we expect to see from them. That's the level they've set, Rob. They need to keep to that level now.
Absolutely. And I think for Luminosity here, the first round to grab upstairs was good. I think they were watching yesterday's game against Beast Coast because that janitor closet control was crucial on that round there. It seemed like Beast Coast were much more willing to stand and fight in open area and take those battles with M80 yesterday, as opposed to Luminosity, who just peeled back as soon as there was the first sign of aggression coming from the top floor even. So a little more stalling there, a little more fight, even with surrendering the opening pick, probably would have been beneficial to Luminosity in that round. But like you said, the collapse onto the bomb site, losing the Warden, the smokes, the Ying Candelas is just overwhelming. And there's a reason M80 is good at this map, is they work really well when overwhelming their opponents together. They're a very cohesive team.
Yeah, great point you made about Luminosity. I think a little bit too timid. Didn't really want to fight M80. You know, M80, they were ready for it. You know, we've seen Kino use Candelas to try and get them in the open area, but nobody was even there to begin with. I would love to see Luminosity just go out here and say, right, what do we really have to lose? It's M80, best team in the league. We have to go out there. We have to try and take it to them, give them a good game. Don't let them set up, because if you let them set up, look what happened to them as M80 went in for their attack. It will be a bit of a change of pace, though. It will be that basement. So M80 have to be looking at their open area takes now, and naturally they'll try and get in some soft destruction, some vertical play in there as well. Get the hatches open. Again, this Ying is going to be a recurring thing. We know that. She's such a strong operator in the current meta, and certainly for a team like M80, who just flourish, Rob, whenever we look at their executions. Ying makes those executions just so much more easier for them.
Definitely, and I think it's a catch-22 as the Candelas do come pouring out now from Kino to, again, establish the top floor control area away from the bomb site. You do have 4 in the back pocket, but it's a catch-22 for Luminosity. You see the Montaigne get used with excellent proficiency yesterday, so you ban it away. You can only ban one attacker, so either the Ying or the Montaigne will persist for M80. They'll have the availability of them, unless they, for some reason, chose to ban the opposite themselves. So here comes the Skeleton Key to, again, open up the floorboard, try and establish positioning. The Nitro Cell will not hit from the Pulse either. So for Luminosity here, again, not looking to stay and fight. Launch the Nitro, try and waste a little bit more time. And no, I'm wrong. Failure of a retreat there. That'll be the Pulse dropping the buck from topside. Gomez goes down. Now Kino with the Diffuser is tentative to try and drop in and trade that out.
Yeah, I think Silent getting that kill back is really made up for that missed C4. If you're bringing a Pulse for open area, you need at least a C4 kill in there. They have 2 C4s on the board, one of course coming from the Pulse. If you're playing towards this Archives area, which you will start to get flooded into, you have that full line of sight in towards that top floor. You need to get a C4 kill from it, but Spoit does what he does best, starts killing people as they start to pick up. But then there's Twister with a very late flank. Asian will also find Spoit, and now it's a 2 versus 2.
Yeah, Kino getting the plant down here, and it looks like he will be successful as neither of the Luminosity members will be pushing towards it. Plant goes down. Kino trying to rotate out, taking a lot of damage and dealing a lot of damage, and now it's just onto Twist. The late flank from before leaves him in open area. He's trying to retreat to the open area double door. The beepers will go off, alerting M80 to his presence. The Nitro Cell goes soaring, but it will get shot. The SMG-11 will whiff every shot, and Kino will clutch it up, and M80 back-to-back rounds now in the attack. A little bit of a stumble attacking CEO, but they look well informed now.
Yeah, M80 again, they see an opportunity to go for the plant. That was a very quick kind of execute that happened there in the final, what, 20 seconds or so. I think M80 are just so good at playing off the back of individual plays that their team make. As a collective, all 5 of them have their moments. Obviously, I think you break it down, Kino would have more on the defense, but I think for the attack, any of the other 4 will be able to make space for their team. This round was Spoit. Being able to find 2 kills, it just opens up the site, and all of them just play off of that. You know, nobody is out of sync. Luminosity, I like to see them play a little bit more in towards that top 4 again. I think that they didn't put that much of a fight, Rob. They fell off very early again. I want to see them try and hold a little bit more ground. I want to see them make M80 really work for the ground that they want to take.
Yeah, and I think the number one indicator of
seconds
why they're
remaining.
falling off, you could see that Silent was willing to fight there inside of Tellers and Archives, but that was it. He was kind of
Who's
alone, and
helping
they
him?
played for the flank.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on his own there.
He's getting baited, almost.
A little bit. They did play the flank, but I think Kino's utilization of those Candelas offsite is also really powerful and really terrifying, honestly, without that Warden being on the roam. You know, the Warden's usually more towards the bomb site. Didn't have a Warden that time, so the inability to see through those Candelas when that space is being taken by M80 is just a terrifying prospect to be a roamer, try and stand up to that. So I think it's really good utility usage. But you're right, I think if Luminosity do want to be able to at least prolong these rounds and prolong the executes to the point that M80 actually have to sweat when they're going for an execute, they will just have to figure out a way. They're going to have to adapt and try and get some time killed off the board, and hopefully some members of the attacking side taken off the board as well.
So one big change for M80 is the Ying is gone for this attack, and instead of that, we're going to see the Capital come in. An operator that we don't see all too often, still very in a niche category, but as we know has a boatload of utility, can fill in the role of a hard breacher if needed. But of course, the crossbow is the main thing that you're bringing him for. Has 2 smokes, so you can fire really anywhere across the map that you need to, and then also the fire arrows, which is going to be a very key thing for them clearing out some of these trickier positions. You're looking at Elevator, for example, in towards Janitors as well is going to be another one that you'd like to get flamed off. So certainly a different approach that we maybe don't see as much from M80, but I'm curious to see where this one's going to go.
I do like that Kiba barrier coming out from Asian as well. I think a lot of the time people are using Kiba barriers as line of sight blockers, as abilities to try and be in awkward positions, as Snake will start things off onto Iconic. So all that talk you did about the Capitao demo
just
is
my luck, you know, just
your luck again. But I do like that Kiba barrier. The secondary utility of that is it is bulletproof. So even all of the Cali shots coming from Kino will not penetrate the Kiba. Nice shots there onto Twist, but unable to collect the kills and upside down Gomez. And he's got the diffuser this time instead of Kino. So push into the bomb site again. Very slow, very stale, very stagnant here for M80. Again, it's very window focused, and Luminosity don't seem to be intimidated by it.
Yeah, again, it just feels as though M8 are waiting for a Monty to come in, but there is no Monty. You don't have that, guys. You need to try and build some ground somewhere else and using the shield. I'm really surprised that Ossa didn't come into play. I think if you don't have the availability of Monty, given our information, the Ossa shield certainly can do that for you. A very safe way of gaining information across those bomb sites. And these echo cams, you know, this is a great substitute that Luminosity have brought in for the Valkyrie, which, as we know, they've banned themselves, but they're finding a way to make it work. And once again, Luminosity, this top floor seems to be a very easy hold. M80 at the same position again, Rob, where they're stuck in the windows.
Yeah, the last 2 remaining members on Rappel here for M80. Kino just trying to blind fire anywhere, trying to catch anyone. He will do a lot of damage if he is able to connect with the Cali sniper. The Rappel into top squares. I believe Diaz went towards lobby to try and recollect a diffuser coming up Spiral. There goes Kino, and yeah, Diaz on Spiral stairs. Still no diffuser. It's surrendered on top of Banana, and pushing up won't even collect the one onto Eddie. It'll be a flawless round for Luminosity. So while the other bomb sites haven't quite gone their way, CEO sure does look, at least for now, as a safe space for Luminosity.
Yeah, they get their 2 rounds from top floor, but they're not going to be able to go there again, Rob. They need to try and win on other sites apart from that, and they haven't been all too successful in those so far this game. But obviously they get another chance to defend some of them, and we'll see if they can do a little bit of a better job. Again, for M80 in that attack, it felt very much the same. Not really anything to talk about from M80 that happened. It was just a lot of sitting in windows, holding mouse 2, and that's it. You know, I think Luminosity have shown really good patience for that top floor. You know that the attackers are going to be under pressure, especially without that beloved Monty. They're going to have to push into you. They're going to have to swing in through the windows. You don't have to peek. You just sit back, you wait, you play up the information in the echo cams, you'll have no problem. So Luminosity done exactly what they needed to do, and M80, yeah, just couldn't really come up with anything too creative.
I think it was Sam and Carter casting the M80 Beast Coast game yesterday on Bank, where I think it was Carter who pointed out that, you know, it was the exact same attack from M80 yesterday, even with the Monte. It was just about 3 people on rappels not doing anything. But like we were saying about the roam, it seemed like Beast Coast were much more willing to peek and lose their life ultimately on that top floor on those defenses versus Luminosity. They're not being intimidated into making the mistake of peeking. They're very content to sit and wait it out, because M80 have shown nothing that should intimidate Luminosity to this point, making them move off of their well-anchored positions.
M80 with another different approach that we're going to see from them inside of this round. They've sacked off the Ying take that worked really well for them, that kind of 3-2-1 push call that they went for. They're going to change things up. They're going to bring in the Nossa, and this is going to be perfectly used for that garage control. A very strong position. Garage, very underutilized, everyone. This is an area that can cut off the majority of rotates in between the sites. You set up an Nossa shield near one of the trucks, near one of the pillars inside a garage. You can lock down the head holes that look in towards red. You can lock down that double door, that you know, where everyone crosses into as the plant starts to go in. Everybody rushes towards that, and vice versa. If you're going for a back take, it can stop anyone coming from server in towards vault. So yeah, very strong position. You need to try and retake. And I'm a little bit surprised that Luminosity didn't really, you know, bring maybe, you know, an echo or something like that to give them a little bit of a heads up, which is something that they displayed, Rob, to give them that little bit of information. And instead, they're just going to try and hold it with just a single warden.
Yeah, I think the time delay here is the big focus for Luminosity. You can see the mirror windows will provide some time delay, as someone will have to deal with them, most likely Spoit with the Twitch drones. Either that or they're going to have to use, there is no Hibana, or the Hibana pellets. Yeah, we're going for a back take anyway, so we're going to completely ignore the mirrors in total.
Yeah.
Yep, jumping into the vault now will be Spoit and Iconic, and there goes Spoit, trying to sprint off to the left, unsuccessful. Kino as well, dropped by Silent. Now Gomez. Diaz outside of garage will hit a nasty shot, but he'll be the only one to be successful so far, as Twist will drop Iconic. Now it's Gomez on main stairs and Diaz trying to push garage. They've surrendered diffuser control in the vault. That's going to be a very, very tough position to try and recover the diffuser from. Landing down the Osa shield is Diaz, but realistically, this round has gone nowhere in a hurry for M80.
Oh, the impact eliminates the shield, and Diaz gets down in the process, and Gomez, he was sat on main stairs for pretty much the majority of that final minute, now has to try and do something. He's worried about potential roamers, but we've seen, Rob, this was a pretty much a turtle strategy that Luminosity tried to go in for. And Gomez, with 20 seconds to go, only has the hatches that he can really play from, and starting to get smoked out. Maybe looking for the main stairs, and he will try and push down. A bit of barbed wire. They'll always come in. A mirror window as well for good measure. It's only going to be a matter of time. Is Gomez is he even going to die? Is he going to give himself up? Doesn't look as if he wants to. Shotgun comes in, but nope. Twist's shotgun is better. Down goes Gomez. Luminosity, finally, we see a different site win for them.
Yeah, successful downstairs, and like you said, very odd choice there from M80 to swap the push. No more Ying push, trying to go for a garage and main stairs and back take. Fortunately for them, it seemed like Luminosity were well up to the task on that one. Reading it out well, not getting caught off guard. You know, as soon as two members from M80 drop into the vault, they last about 5 seconds, and it's a 3v5 if you're trying to work your way out of M80, and LG just kind of played the numbers to their advantage. So a lead now for Luminosity, and trying to extend the lead to end the half. Have to go to open area and kitchen. Try and close this one out. And this round also did come down kind of close. It was a 1v2. Twist was flanking from Tellers and Archives at the end. It was somewhat close, and I think, like you said, if Silent's going to be alone over in Tellers and Archives, if he had a friend, that fight could last a little bit longer. Yeah,
it's a round I think M80 need now. They need to try and pull in this even half. M80 that last round, Rob, just looking at it, was so out of funk. You know, I'm seeing an Ossa try and get in towards garage. Isn't even in garage as the push actually comes in. Nobody waited for him. Nobody waited for that Ossa to get set up and ready to go. We see two guys drop with no utility. Not a smoke grenade, not a flashbang, nothing. They end up dying. I don't even know where Kino died from. And then the whole time there's just a Gomez just sitting in the main stairs doing what? What exactly is he doing? A big question mark in that round for M80. Needs to be looked at.
So focus here for Spoit now onto the Flores to open up the printer window, try and get some visibility into the bomb site. As M80, I imagine, again, aren't going to be too intrigued to change the take from last time around. They had the big advantage. The flank from Twist cut it down, but really having that 3v2 advantage early on in the round, being able to clear out Tellers and Archives relatively freely with that top control and the skeleton key. It's a good position to be in if you're M80. So the attacks, they have gone well previously when establishing that top floor control. When you try to divert from the plan, that it seems to go wrong here for M80. So for Luminosity as well, trying to extend a little bit more. We do have some topside roam. Won't just be a horizontal stretch. There will be a vertical aspect to it. And I believe that is Twist playing inside a janitor now with
an elevator as well.
Reinforced.
And he goes, checks for a frost mat, nothing's there, and he's going to use that drone hole to try and scare out anyone who may be playing in Janitor, and there was, and Twist actually takes a tumble all the way down to the bottom floor. There was still one player inside of Elevator. I wonder if he's being checked, maybe, yeah, nope, still there. Nobody's droned him as of yet, but as we can see, Eddie has that hatch open behind him, so he can fall off if he does get droned, or if at any point he feels a little bit too pressured. He's going to go for a little bit of a peek, but gonna wait his time at the moment. If he goes unchecked here, Rob, this could be a major issue. It looks as if he might.
Knock, knock.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Eddie. Still holding. Not moving, and finally makes his mark. Eliminates Gomez. Has to find some more, though. He is above. Does Kino not know about this? What? Where is the communication from M80? Eddie has been gifted 2 absolute freebies, and that almost kills the round for M80. They've lost their buck. They can't do any more verticality. They've lost their Ying, more importantly. Diaz has a yellow ping, tries to shoot through the couch, successfully will do so, eliminates Eddie, but my oh my. That is it's a bit of a blunder, it has to be said. And Iconic does pull another one back, though. So now we're in a 3 versus 3, and even split now. Spoit, he's looking to pounce in through that electrical. Has a flashbang, will pop it. Iconic looking to drop the hash in the far side, but is he available? No, Twisty is going to be there for that refrag. Now it's a 2 versus 3. Diffuser is going to be planted. Diaz fires a flashbang at his head, and then down goes Iconic. What on earth was that round from M80? So, just to let everyone know, Rob, we've lost Rob, so it's just me. It's a demo-only stream. I've taken over.
Back, actually.
Never mind, he's back. Cancel the demo show. I've been cancelled before the show even got a green light.
I think I'm back. I hope so.
My goodness.
That was an unfun period of time, but a fun round to watch nonetheless.
Yeah, head scratcher around M80, not checking Rob, a guy in Elevator, and it's... You know, it's simple stuff, and this feels very similar to that auction game, where they weren't doing basics right.
Yeah, honestly, for M80 here, the attack's not going the way they want to. Swapping onto the defensive side, though, like you said, the attacks won't be the easiest of challenges, so swapping onto the defense, maybe they can get reorganized here. Like I said, for M80, the 3 points available in this game against a lower-ranked opponent on the standings so far gives them the opportunity to be level on points with Wildcard heading into their final game of the evening. If they aren't able to, then, you know, it's going to have to require a win against Wildcard as well to jump up to that #1 spot. But I think, like you say, this just doesn't look like a #1 team performing right now. We've seen M80 play way better than this so far at this stage. Seems like Luminosity are at least level matched on bank for right now.
It's just... maybe it's just me, because I hold teams who I've seen play at some amazing level of stage. I always hold them to that level, because I always think, I've seen how you can play, I want to see that every single time. We've seen the excellence and the brilliance that M80 can display. And in their own league, in their own regional league, they should be dominating this. This is a team who shouldn't be worried about, oh, how we place our own region. It should be how are we placing internationally. That's the standards. That is where the mentality of this team is. And to see them not bring that into the regional league, it's just, maybe that's just me, Rob.
No, I think once you've demonstrated a standard, a level of play that you are capable of, then you should be held to that standard throughout the rest of the equal meta. As long as there isn't a big change or a big roster change or something like that, that should be the expectation going forward, unless it was a wild overachievement. But I don't believe that's the case for M80 for the first few games of this stage. So heading in here, you know, they were the favorites, we'll say, against Luminosity. But give it to Luminosity, being able to stand up and hang with M80 on a map like Bank that we saw M80 just 24 hours ago completely decimate Beast Coast on. So this Luminosity team standing tall against a tough opponent on a tough map for them. This is going well. We'll just see if they can convert that with their attacks. Similar strategies here with the Ying coming out, the Twitch, the Buck. Very similar operators to M80's attacks. Just so much more utility here from M80's defense that LG have to try and work their way through.
Yeah, very similar from both sides in terms of how they've defended and also attacked. But look at the time difference, Rob. That's one thing we have to give credit of Luminosity in this round. It took M80 around the minute mark before they were in this position. They have an extra 30 second drop. That's going to do them wonders for getting in towards server, which is going to be the tricky one. Getting past this man with a shotgun, Rob, we've seen that it's very difficult for any team in the league. Kino, I think, with a shotgun, he's really setting himself out there to be, you know, best in the world at that actually wrote that role. And I mean, you have to use the Gandels to get rid of him. That's how strong this guy is. But look, he doesn't even care. He's getting flash. He's still here.
Candela will literally hit him in the face, but point blank, while blinded, will collect the life of Eddie. Refuses entry to the blue stairs. Now the hatch is open. Very paranoid about a drop coming out, but Kino will reascend the stairs as Twist still looks down. Not paying attention to the blue stairs doorway, and Kino will love to go for a swing here. Thinking about it more than once, shoulder checking again. SMG out trying to go long range, but they completely vacated. Moved back over to kitchen, and now the flanking smoke again. We saw this from M80 and Kino specifically on Cafe against Oxygen, and here comes Kino again. Grabs one onto Silent, and he's going for the flank. The Bach is not awake. Snake falls at the hip fire. Now Kino will finally be cut down at main stairs, but Asian trapped in the elevator behind Akibo will get one onto Gomez, sprays there and hits his own teammate, and now Iconic and Spoit will shut it down. Kino the playmaker on the flanking smoke.
Just sensational. That is... you see him on blue, and he's just him with this little shotgun of his, and he's always smiling. He's just, I don't know what it is. He's just, is it a smirk? I don't know, but I don't know how he does it. Just him and that shotgun, it's a romance. It is. It's a romance.
Definitely. I think, honestly, the way that Kino plays smoke is so fun, and it's so, I guess, I don't want to say not standard, but it is creative, you know? There's not many times in professional play where you get to say the words, the flanking smoke getting a 3K, and yet here we are, Kino. I'm very confused what happened to the LG comms there, how
Snake
Kino was able to acquire the pick. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Snake. Maybe he's focused on someone else, but my God.
I mean, typically, if I'm playing with someone and I hear flanking smoke, generally I do look away from the hatch. That's something I do. You know, me again. Am I crazy for like looking away if I hear flank? I don't know. You be the judge, Rob.
I think that, you know, the next time there's, you know, a frenzy for North American roster slots and a Hunger Games style tryout, I think maybe you should put your name in there.
Oh. Maybe. Maybe. Open area, anyway, is where we head for M80. And I would say we're going to see a very similar setup again for this is what Luminosity were doing, where you like to try and hold in towards Archives and Tellers. M80 aren't as heavy in the C4s compared to what Luminosity was. They've been a little bit more control-orientated. You know, you're bringing in Solus and Fenrir to, you know, give you some information as well. And then you have a Clash come into the fray of things. You know, if Kino can't play as Monty, he's going to be on his Clash.
Yeah, and that Clash will cause some problems. We saw it yesterday as well, the Cafe Clash. Downstairs inside a kitchen, just constantly being a nuisance. We saw it against M80 from the OXG game on Cafe as well. So Clash has been an integral operator, just kind of a resurgence of the operator as of late. The ability to time delay, the ability to persevere, the ability to soak up a lot of utility and a lot of bullets. Just it's another operator that's come back into the favor with a big swing in meta.
So, it's pretty generic from Luminosity. Hatch is open. Vertical taking its toll. Oh, Spoit. I think they know he's there. Yep, I do think they know he's there. He does have the hatch, which he can, of course, fall back into. It is open. It is. I think it's open. It should be open anyway. He has a Fenrir beside him that he can play off, and also a Wamai disc there as well. But Spoit, I mean, this is always tricky, this, Rob. You know there's a Fenrir, but then you have to go for the gadget, and he's always going to have an advantage. Spoit just decides to dip out of there, doesn't want to risk it at all, and oh no! Gomez gets caught by Eddie as he goes for the swing, and the diffuser is being planted. Ellie keeps throwing out the smokes, the Candelas, everything out of his pockets. Luminosity, they've just said, you know what, don't worry about the Fenrir, let's just go for the juggler, let's go for the scythe.
Attackers
M80, 5 minutes are hitting the floor, but Spoy goes for the flank of dreams. The drop down the stock hatch gets 3 in Diaz. They're turning a 2v5 to a 2v1. Spoy just has to stick. Snake sprinting like his life depends on it. He'll cut down Diaz, but he's not gonna get there in time. The flank, the clutch. Kino stands up from his PC and embraces Spoit. Unbelievable.
He's just What of my own? What of my Europeans? Oh, one of my own creations is here.
Oh, yeah. Attack timeout from M80. Not the team I expected to call that, to be honest.
I mean, that's where you need to... I mean, they're not going to be happy with that because at the end of the day, you are relying on Spoit doing something outrageous, which he can't consistently do. I mean, he will say he can do that consistently. We know he can't. He can't do that. Nobody can. So they're at a situation where they're probably not happy with the build-up to that. You know, they got ran over. We seen the Yings come in. They were helpless. You know, they had to rely on Spoit making a big play. So I think it's wise from M80. Again, the siege hasn't been, as we know, to the standard that it should be. And I think that's down to, you know, great coaching, being able to recognize that, hey, that was good, but it's not good enough.
Yeah, if you ignore the last, 30 seconds of that round, you would say that that is a masterclass from Luminosity and a real tough one for M80. Like you said, they're just kind of getting mowed over on site and adjacent to the site as well. Any kind of map control they did have before that last 30 seconds vanished in a heartbeat. But M80, hey, credit to Spoit, they pull it back. An incredible play. Like you say, you don't want to be banking on that repeatedly. But to pull one out when you really need it, to not allow Luminosity to reestablish the 2-round lead, get even closer to map point, you've now tied things up. It's a blessing, and you take it where you can. But now, like you say, you got to step up a little bit here if you're M80. You can't be banking on that to happen every single round. So we'll head topside with hopes and aspirations of a little tidier of a round here.
So this was the best site for Luminosity wherever they were defending, was that top floor. I wonder if it's going to be the same for M80, is maybe just very defender-sided this time around with a Monty ban. It certainly could be. But I do like the lineup a lot better for Luminosity than what I thought M80 was bringing to the table. We're seeing that Ossa, great operator for the top floor, being able to put them in the windows. It will give you that view into sight. It will be able to lock down players actually moving in the site itself. And then you have the Ying, a good way of getting yourself in through those windows. So as we know, going through windows is always going to be a very scary thing for attackers. But being able just to blind anyone who may be looking at you as you swing through the windows, yeah, it's a no-brainer.
See Silent constantly checking this drone and janitor that M80 have missed. He's going to repeatedly spot Kino on the echo.
Yeah.
Still playing inside a meeting, so that portion of the floor, I believe, is hard.
There's a little bit, half of it is.
Soften up until you get towards the hallway double door. So first floor is going to be burnt as well from Snake. Trying to displace anyone off the mirrors and, grab... No, not grab the deployable shield playing outside a lone office. That's half the floor has utility gone. Snake will go for 3rd times the charm to try and displace Iconic from his position. And he will be successful in the 3rd. No, he won't. The impact will destroy it. It's the last chance here for Snake. It's a constant battle back and forth, and Iconic is doing well to survive.
Yeah, he needs to try and get it on the shield so then he can't impact it. Yeah, you need to get it on the shield because then you have that radius. If you're a well-experienced player in that position, you will know your impact radius, you will know your lineups. You need to attach it onto the shield, so if he does impact it, the shield will go anyway.
Ossa coming out, an operator that you were clamoring for earlier on, and here we go. Twist with the diffuser, the Candelas come pouring out. Twist looking to go for the plant, but he's getting yokai'd off, taking some damage. Snake gets the opener onto Iconic. He's trying to retreat back up the marble stairs towards the bomb site. 3 flashes go pouring in, and Spoit now going towards the planter will down and finish off Twist. There goes the diffuser surrender behind the Ossa shield. Now Luminosity scrambling. Still a minute on the clock, so they have some time, but Snake taking a handful of damage, has to retreat back. Try and reassess things here for Luminosity as they take a breather, try and regroup, get back towards the bomb site together as a unit.
Yeah, it's really going to struggle now without that Ossa. How are they going to plant safely? They may just have to play for kills here, Rob, and Silent will get things started eliminating Spoit, so no Warden. Potentially, Eddie could use his last Candela to just swing off the back off it. He could just go in with the Candelas in hand, tosses it out, and then just hope for the best. That's really what they have to go for. You can see one pushing up main stairs, one pushing also in towards lobby stairs. So you've got 4 players all trying to surround these M80 players, but M80 just win their ones. That's all they had to do to stop that push, is just win your ones. M80 look as if they're going to hold this firm. Eddie, with that LMG, picks up one onto Diaz, but with 2 more to find, M80 just need to hide. 7 seconds to go, and there we go. Gomez swings around the corner, finds Eddie, and well, M80, they will take that top floor. And Spoit, important kill has to be said, Rob. That's really where you can pinpoint it, losing that Ossa to get that diffuser down.
Yeah, that's when LG really had to scramble and kind of regroup for a second. You can see everyone just kind of peel off from their positions. The Ying on Repel kind of goes back down. Snake goes back down Marble Stairs as he hit a goo mine and had taken damage from inside a meeting from Gomez. So a lot of engagements had to be taken away there for Luminosity, just kind of reset. But this is the kill right here. Spoit able to just catch the leg of Twist sticking out from beyond the Osa shield. So it had to be planted on an angle there to cover the majority of the angles coming from Janitor Closet to cut him down. There for Luminosity, a close one. Another really close one. That's back-to-back rounds there where Luminosity had a good setup. They had a good execute towards the bomb site. And in different ways, it falls apart in the end. And M80, by the grace of their own, I guess, excellence, have come forth with 3 consecutive rounds and now take the lead here on Bank.
Mm-hmm. They are ahead.
Before insertion.
First time, I believe, in this. And
5 seconds remaining.
I think you look at a team like Luminosity, they've put up a very good fight, and for the standards of this team to, even get 4 rounds on Bank, which, as we know, not every team in the league has been able to do that. So I'm impressed by Luminosity. I think the idea behind their defenses, the idea behind their attacks, has been very solid. I'm liking what I'm seeing. It's just the final execution. That team chemistry to win from behind, which you can see M80 winning from behind is one of their specialities.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at the 3 Luminosity attacks so far in the second half, you're not really too disappointed with them.
No.
I think, like you said, the last 30 seconds
Fine
of each of the
margin,
rounds, it's so close. It's very close. Obviously, you don't want Spoit collecting a 2v5 4K and sticking to defuse, so things happen when you're playing against Spoit. But here comes another good entry start here for Silent. Unable to collect the kill, actually, and the collapse from M80 will reject all entry into the building. 2 members for Luminosity will fall. That'll be iconic, getting
Eddie
traded back out, and Eddie's just pushing straight into the bomb site.
Oh, the Fenrir picks him up. He was trying to sneak in. He has a shotgun, by the way. Not the LMG this time around. He's going to be packing a punch. Eisen, he has got himself in. So I think right now for Asian, if you look at this also position, it's an area that really, M80 in their attacks, we didn't really get to see the full value out of that, mostly because that attack on the basement was so rushed. I suppose that the flip side is that Luminosity have lost their main pushing power. They lost their Iana moving in with nades. They've also lost the Habana, so hatches maybe could be an issue, but they still have hard breach gadgets from the Buck, so it shouldn't be. But even still trying to clear out these remaining M80 players is where they're going to struggle. Eddie's had to rotate upstairs. He has the Gandelas. He's going to have to use most of his utility into actually taking this mid floor.
There goes Gomez shutting down Snake, and the turn towards Tellers look top square for just a moment, and it'll cost him his life. So Kino will drop. Eddie alone, though, like you say, with the shotgun cut down by Gomez, as M80 never evacuate open area after that opener onto Silent. Beautiful control there, and like you say, Luminosity just not having the manpower to be able to clear out the roam, and really a downstairs bomb site defense that didn't take place downstairs much at all.
Yeah, it's one of those rounds where it just comes down to how your entries do. That's pretty much what we're looking at. And they lost it this time around. Silent just couldn't really get in there. Lose that opening engagement. Great crossfire held by M80. Again, it shows that synergy of a team who's been around a long time. You can see that they just know where each other are, aren't they? So, yeah, one that Luminosity will just want to forget. But realistically, what that's done now is it's gave M80 the match point, which is where you don't want to be from Luminosity, is staring down the barrel of having to win 2 attacks in a row now. Yeah,
taking the tack time out just to kind of regroup here, but it is match point. We do often criticize some match point tack timeouts as a little late, but at the end of the day, this is going to be 6-4 in favor of M80. So they're back on map point here, and I guess we're getting to the destination we imagined we would heading into the map, just by a very different route. than as we expected. You know, Luminosity taking early control here, now dropping 4 rounds in a row on the attack. M80 have shown some good resilience, some good fight back here. Like you said, their attacks didn't look the strongest, but their defenses do look pretty solid here. They'll have 2 chances at it to round out in regulation. Like I said, off the top of the game, the ability to get 3 points here will draw them level on points with wildcard, and they play wildcard to round out the evening. Try and take that #1 spot in the standings away is, again, same destination we thought we would get there with M80, just a very different route.
It is. I think M80 haven't had the easiest of times. Luminosity has certainly looked really good in the defense, and certainly M80 struggled on the attacks, but as soon as that side switch happened, it was what I worried for Luminosity is, again, these newer sides, yes, they can play defense really well, which is naturally a more easier side to play off, but whenever it comes to the attacks, that is where you really start to separate the teams in the league from, you know, your contenders to... You know, your teams are just really there. That's what it feels like, certainly at the moment, where you've got M80, your hot contenders, and Luminosity, who I still think throughout the course of this season have looked good, and I think they will, again, I think they'll have another win in them, certainly, going forward. So yeah, again, it's not all doom and gloom for Luminosity, but just little things.
Well, it seems like Luminosity, and realizing that the last 30 seconds of their attacks haven't gone well, and all the rounds previous to the one that just elapsed, they're going to go very fast here. Silent immediately up the blue stairs from the basement, in tandem with Snake as they make their way into the bomb site. Now, Eddie's got the case. He's going to have to join these two, but it looks like M80 playing for retake here, playing for the top floor control. They have kill holes in the ceiling above and rotates back in. Silent has traversed the entirety of the site and not met a single soul. The plant looks to be going down momentarily here from Eddie, and it will begin. And now, Gomez is going to spot this as the Solus, and you'll see everyone for M80 scurry and react, but Spite will be the first man to fall. Beats his grave at the hands of Asian. The plant being re-attempted now as the Solus is hunting from above. Kino will drop Twist, the plant pulled off for a 3rd time now by Eddie, as he needs to find a safe haven to put this diffuser down. Iconic taking damage from the bottom of Spiral Stairs, but it's just back and forth right now. Luminosity desperately trying to find a place to plant. Diaz will cut down another member of Luminosity, though. Eddie looking to stick this. The Solus impacting directly above. Eddie will complete the plant, but lose a lot of health to do so. Now Silent trying to evacuate the bomb site. Stay out of the purview of the Solus of Gomez, who's left on about 1 HP. Snake holding, he rotates, coming from the top of square, and turning his attention back towards open area. The time ticks away on M80 here. A beautiful shot there on what was left of Eddie from Gomez. Brings it down to the 4v2, the 4v1, and now it's just Snake alone to keep it alive in the post plant. Not a lot of time left on the clock, but he looks away at the most inopportune time, gets down and finished off, and that will be M80 taking the map.
M80, they were happy to give them the side. They knew as long as they could hold above, they have the Solus, they can see where diffuser is going to be planted, they can play off that retake. Yeah, great defense there from M80. Luminosity not picking up a single attack against M80. They've really put the mark down and said, yeah, just don't take us to bite. This is the map that we love, a map that we will smash you on. And, well, maybe it was like that during the first half, but certainly the second it was. We're going to go to a break, and then we'll be back with the boys in the desk to break it all down.